you. Is Mudryk now a doubt? You'll find out all this and more in the next 10 minutes on DR Sports Transfers, as it says across my right shoulder, with myself, AGT. Let's get into this. Let's waste no time. Remember, like the video, comment with your thoughts as well, and subscribe to DR Sports as we cover every single day of the transfer window for you. Right. Only a couple of hours ago, Fabrizio Romano tweets this exclusive. Chelsea official proposal for Enzo Fernandez was never 120 million or 127 million. A lot of confusion around the official bid for Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea amongst a lot of different journalists. Now, who do you believe? That's the key question. Romano goes on to say that the final proposal made to Benfica was only, I say only, it's still 85 million, for goodness sakes, but they have discussed it with Chelsea, and there is now no agreement in terms of meeting that release clause. Chelsea have never discussed the 120 million release clause, according to Fabrizio, and there is now no agreement at all. New meeting in the afternoon, as revealed earlier. So they're going to go back to the drawing board today. I can't personally see Chelsea pushing the fee up to meet that proposal or that release clause, which has been widely reported, as I mentioned. But what does this now mean for Chelsea? Do you still really need Enzo Fernandez? And is there a way that Enzo Fernandez stays at Benfica now? We've heard Rui Costa, who's been the guy basically that's been declining these offers. We've heard him say it's probably his last, well, he's probably played his last game for Benfica. But is there a situation when no one stumps up the release clause and he stays at Benfica? Chelsea fans, has this put you off? You must have been reading a lot of different varying reports over the last few days. How do you feel? Are you frustrated about this? Because if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be. He's been the nailed-on name that's going to be coming through that door to really bring some new life to that midfield, invigorate it, bring the age range down a little bit. He looks like that kind of player that can fit in. But at the minute, there is no agreement. It's almost back to square one. I personally can't see Chelsea pushing up that fee to make this deal happen. But Chelsea fans, do you now look elsewhere, or do you stick with Enzo Fernandez? Let me know in the comments right now. Chelsea fans, as we know, in terms of midfielders, other options that Chelsea could look at, we know that strong interest has also been retained in Declan Rice from Chelsea. Obviously, we know Potter is a big admirer of the player. We know that Declan Rice grew up through the Chelsea ranks as well. But initially, Chelsea have now offered or been offered to pay over 100 million for Enzo Fernandez. Could that money be better spent on Declan Rice? This is according to Matt Law, a very trusted journalist from the Daily Telegraph. And I think the Declan Rice transfer would actually make more sense than the Enzo Fernandez transfer. We know that Declan Rice is a proven Premier League captain, let alone player. He's a captain. And we know also that he's in a bit of a dire situation when it comes to West Ham and what they're looking like doing this season. Obviously, very close to sacking David Moyes, as we know. And West Ham, the way they're playing is purely relegation form. So does Declan Rice maybe cut his losses and leave West Ham as the captain? I'm not sure he'd ever be forgiven for that by the Irons fans. But is this the time now where he has to think of his own career instead, with all due respect to Mark Noble, instead of becoming a new Mark Noble, in essence, a very loyal, honest player, very hardworking. With all due respect again to Noble, I do think that Rice has got a little bit more quality in the locker to maybe ply his trade at a better level, in a Champions League level. We've already heard Declan Rice talk about the fact that all of his mates, when they play for England, they're all playing in the Champions League, and that's something that he wants to do as well. So Chelsea fans, Enzo Fernandez, the talks will resume today. But is it a dead end, or do you want to even pay the release clause that will free up Enzo Fernandez, or do you look elsewhere and go for something a little bit closer to home in Declan Rice? Let us know in the comments, please, right now. And now, Arsenal fans, as we know, a very, very public flirting going back and forth between Mikhailo Mudryk and Arsenal. They want 88 million. They're staying very firm on 88 million. Fabrizio Romano also said that Donetsk director Dario Serna will be in London today, and he's expected to be at the stadium for Chelsea versus Manchester City. Chelsea and Shakhtar will discuss about Mudryk in the next 24 hours. Also, Arsenal remain in direct talks, and it's the player's current priority. Ben Jacobs, massively trusted journalist as well, also says that Chelsea's interest in Mudryk doesn't worry Arsenal. Arsenal remain optimistic. Shakhtar still want more money up front, and an overall package closer to £80 million would maybe be accepted, whereas Arsenal's second bid is only just under £70 million. So you're looking at around at least 10 more million to add to that fee if you're Arsenal to get your man. And then obviously the packages that entail with that, you could be looking at around the £88 million mark anyway. But Mudryk has also been on Instagram. He's liked a post by Arsenal Memes, which shows him in jail with the hashtag free Mudryk. And he's also tagged in the story, and he has liked this picture, this meme as well. It's him in jail. I can show you it now with the Shakhtar Donetsk and the Ukraine flag behind him. There you go. He has liked it. So what does that mean? This is the world that we live in now. Instead of hearing right from the horse's mouth, we might get excited over them liking a post or liking a video or liking a tweet. This is how it is sometimes in the transfer window. So he's like that, which to me says he's still desperate to go to Arsenal. We know for a fact that he was in the UK in the gym at midnight only 2 days ago. So where does this one end now? I mean, obviously Man City go to Chelsea today, which will be difficult for the Manchester City fans to get down there due to the train strike, the ongoing train strikes. But this won't affect the old Donetsk director. He won't be getting on the Avanti West Coast. He'll be sitting in the very warm leather seats at Stamford Bridge tonight, where he will talk with Chelsea. Now, Chelsea fans, is this the kind of way that you want to deal with your transfer targets? You see what someone else has got and you think, well, let's get him in, we'll have a chat, and whatever they've bid, we'll bid more. That's not how it works, unfortunately. The player has the power in this situation, I believe. He wants Arsenal. He doesn't want Chelsea. It's still his preferred place to go. But Chelsea are doing the old, I'm going to steal your girl, Mr. Arsenal. And they're doing the old behind the cloak and dagger tactics, really, isn't it? It's like, oh, we've got the money. Don't worry about that. Come and have a nice prawn sandwich with us, and we'll have a chat. But what they're forgetting is ultimately the power does come down to the player. If he doesn't want to go to Chelsea, he won't go to Chelsea. Whereas this game tonight is going to be holding some key chats in the progress to this. So I guess by tomorrow, or maybe the day after, maybe we're looking at a Saturday now, but the day after, we will find out more about this situation. Will it be Chelsea or will it be Arsenal? Arsenal fans, what do you make of Chelsea's, like I said, cloak and dagger tactics here? Chelsea, what do you make of doing this to Arsenal, stealing their player potentially? So let us know in the comments how you think this one will end up. Chelsea and Arsenal fans are going to be like this in the comments, going at it, and that's what we love to see. Of course, nice and sensible, no swear words. But Arsenal and Chelsea fans, it's a fight for Mudryk now. He was destined to go to Arsenal. Now Chelsea have thrown their big money hat in the ring, and now they are hosting the sporting director tonight. But where is Mudryk? Does he end up at Chelsea? Does he end up at Arsenal? Let us know in the comments. This one is a belter. Staying with Chelsea, we mentioned it the other day. Benoit Badiashile, that is now absolutely confirmed, signed, sealed, and delivered. All the documents have finally been signed. Badiashile has already completed medical tests in London, and the deal is 100% sealed. AS Monaco will receive around £38 million. It's Chelsea signing number 3 in 2023 alone, after David Datro Fofana from Molde from Norway, and of course Andre Santos, who will be announced soon from Vasco da Gama in Brazil. No more meetings scheduled. This was only an hour ago. No more meetings scheduled with Benfica for Enzo Fernandez deal. As of now, talks have collapsed yesterday after a verbal discussion on the 120 million fee. The final official bid was 85, rejected by Rui Costa. But we also know that they will be speaking today at some point to maybe reignite those talks with Enzo. But you know what? It's not been the most straightforward January transfer window so far, has it? We've seen an almost nailed-on transfer of Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, maybe scuppered. The same with Mudryk. We know that he wants Arsenal, but Chelsea are hosting Shakhtar Donetsk's people tonight to maybe change his mind, which could be an absolute howler if you're an Arsenal fan. I've even heard Arsenal fans say, well, we're not paying 88 million. Let's move on and get someone else. Let's go for someone who's Premier League proven with Zaha being thrown around. How many times have we seen Zaha go or be linked to Arsenal? So many times across the years, but they're still in for him if they can't get Mudryk. As I've just mentioned, let us know. This one rumbles on in the comments well after this video is over. Does he end up at Arsenal? Does he end up at Chelsea? And does Enzo Fernandez stay now at Benfica? Or do you see another club coming in for him if Chelsea don't stump up the money? You could see the likes of, well, actually, I was going to say Real Madrid and Barca, but they definitely don't need him, especially for that price. So I think now there is a strong possibility that Enzo Fernandez stays put at the Stadium of Light, not Sunderland, Benfica, of course. Right, there is your 10-minute transfer update from myself, AGT, on DR Sports Transfers. Join us again tomorrow as we discuss every single day the transfer window in January. Take care. We'll see you soon.